Hi, this is Dave Griffin. Today we'll be talking about the Anti-Time Anomaly mission, which came with the Olympic-class ship. This reenacts the finale of the Next Generation's All Good Things episode, in fact, the 7th season finale. There are two forces. One is Mirror Federation and the other is Klingon. The Mirror Federation has 70 points, including exactly 2 ships, one of which should be an Olympic-class ship. And the other is 70-point Klingons, including exactly 2 ships. We have 12 mission tokens. 6 are beside the board to be taken away once at the end of each phase, which essentially makes the game last 6 turns until the anti-time eruption effectively erases the Federation from history. And 3 on each of the mirror ship cards, or the Federation, depending on what you decide to play. There's also an objective token in the center of the map, and that represents the time anomaly, the anti-time eruption. Now, special rules. Within range 1 to 2 of the eruption, you cannot target lock or be target locked. Also, the second mirror ship is not placed on turn 1. So the Olympic is placed on turn 1 in the usual sort of initial position, but the second ship is placed at the end phase of turn 1. So you can see where it's going to be before you do your dials, but you can't actually move it on the first turn. The Federation Mirror also have a new action, which basically says if you have a mission token on your card, you can place it on the anti-time eruption, and when there's 3 of them, you win, even though when you place it, will be in the action phase, so that's prior to the combat phase. Now, there was one problem with the rules, and it doesn't say what range you can place the token. The only thing I can say is I would call it range 1 to 2, because range 1 to 2 is the range of the anomaly to remove target lock, so I figure that's probably the range they intend to actually place the token as well, but it actually doesn't say on the card. So, the Klingons' objective is to destroy both of the Federation or Mirror ships, and the Mirror objective is merely to close the anomaly. And even if it has only 1 ship left, say the Olympic, and it's only got 1 hull left, if it closes the anomaly, it wins, regardless of what the combat situation is. Now, I would say that the obvious second ship for the Mirror Federation is probably Assimilation Target Prime if you have it. Basically Riker's Enterprise, not the Borg one. We really need is a Galaxy X, but we're not going to get that in the current game, and Simulation Target Prime is pretty close to what a Galaxy X would be. Effectively, it's a uprated version of the Galaxy. On the Klingon side, I would recommend a pair of generic Vorchas and some decent Klingon upgrades, like maybe Young Kor and Worf and Nagarin and Drex. That would be an awful tough combination for the Federation Mirror to overcome. And in fact, the only real strategy that seems to come to mind on the Federation Mirror side is to assign one of the ships to close the anomaly and to have the other ship try to block and make itself the biggest possible proposition for the enemy. So the Olympic is the obvious one to close the anti-time eruption because you can put an in-faction cloaking device on it and put some defensive upgrades on it and make it very difficult to kill. But if the Klingons ignore that difficult-to-kill ship and shoot at the blocker is probably going to last at least 2 rounds, which means at the beginning of the 3rd round, the Federation Mirror side win merely by placing the token. And the Klingons are going to figure that out. If they don't figure it out in the first game, they'll certainly figure it out in the second, and they'll have to go for the Olympic. So think about that when you outfit the Olympic and try to make it as durable and bulletproof as possible. Upgrades which pull the attacks over to the skirmisher ship would be useful. Upgrades of any kind that keep the enemy from actually shooting at a particular ship. All those upgrades which we've downgraded before because the enemy could always shoot at another one of your ships come into play here, because if you could just keep them from shooting at the Olympic for 1 turn, you might just win the game based on that. So have some fun with this scenario. I would call it 3.5 stars, very much worth playing. It's wide open depending on what both sides decide to employ and how they employ it during the game. Thanks a lot, and have a good time on this.